Okay Planet Podcast. Jacob Brady here. It's Jake Furco over there. And we've got a special guest. He is the best friend of the podcast. You heard him in the intro. He was the mastermind behind all that. We owe him a lot.
Yeah, I love that little quick tune that we have going to start this off.
The theme song.
Yeah.
The theme song, yeah.
That's me.
It adds a lot of production.
That was me.
Done right here where you're seeing us, too.
Yeah.
Recorded right here. The work on the music right here where we're sitting.
Yeah. We're here.
So go ahead and introduce the man.
All right, so we got a promoter, a musician, skateboarder, Kevin Byars.
Hello.
Kevin James Byars, everyone.
That's right.
That's right.
That's the name my mama gave me.
Yeah, stick with it.
Yeah.
Kevin James, mall cop.
Sure.
Almost.
All right, so let's get into All right,
Sure.
Let's get into it then. So the events you put on, they're usually, music events, skateboarding events. So we'll start with music. How did you first get into playing music?
Music. I have to give props to both of my older sisters. I have a sister that's 6 years older than me and one that's 4 years older than me. And they went to high school and were involved in the punk rock shows. They took me to them when I was a little kid, Punxsutawney had a cool punk rock scene back in the early 2000s, and I saw that as a little kid, and I was like, wow, this is cool, and it's happening in Punxsutawney. Events are cool, and I have to give props to my sister Jamie. She got really into punk rock, and that's whenever I noticed how cool the Ramones were and stuff like that. The Ramones were like the first band that I obsessed over. I was like, wow, this is something that a kid could get into, but I still love the Ramones. It's universal, and bands that last are something that...
Timeless.
Yeah, they're timeless.
Yeah.
You can get into them, and still. But as a kid, you're just like, wow, this is amazing. This is crazy. So punk rock and going to little shows whenever Punxsutawney had them was cool, and I was a kid.
Yeah, surprising how cool of a scene that was, actually.
Yeah.
It was.
And being a kid, seeing that, you're starstruck. You're like, wow, these guys are like so much older than me, and I'm just a little kid, but I dig it, and I'm still into it. So, started playing guitar at age 11. Jamie wanted to play bass guitar, and I played guitar. Got drums at age 12. Being a little elementary school kid with long hair, into AC/DC and stuff. It was cool. Playing Tony Hawk games. Yeah. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1.
You were saying, what a great soundtrack. I mean...
Oh, yeah. No, my cousin had Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 for PlayStation, and I would play it and not know what was happening, but I knew that I liked skateboarding. So then I was like, Mom...
It's like a premonition.
This was in, first grade.
Yeah.
2001. And I was like, Mom, I want to start skateboarding. Can you buy me a skateboard for Christmas? And they did.
That's tight.
And now I'm still keeping up with it. It's not a kiddie thing.
No.
I'm an adult. I like it,
No, yes. I think that's like a very ignorant misconception of kids our age. We're not of adults our age. People in their 20s, even up until early 30s, that are still involved with skateboarding, kind of get frowned upon ignorantly. Like I said, I think that skateboarding is one of the best hobbies you can have. I mean, it keeps you creative, it keeps you active, and it seems disrespectful, but a lot of the times, a lot of the skateboarders you meet are the friendliest, nicest people you'll come in contact with.
Yeah.
A lot friendlier than your all-star high school sports players.
I mean, the situation that you're in when you're at a skate park is, since we were kids, we were brought up to be social. You show up at a skate park and you and someone else are the only other people there. You got to start talking, or else it's going to be weird. So
Yeah.
That's sort of, you learn basic lessons about etiquette and how to make friends.
Absolutely.
And you guys already have something in common once you're there.
Yeah.
So.
Why make enemies?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Back in first grade, Jacob can vouch for this, Ramps and Rails in Brookville, Pennsylvania, was this indoor skate park, so you could go there in the winter, and it became a weekly thing for like my buddies and I. My mom would load up the van, and we'd go to Ramps and Rails.
Yeah,
and
pad up.
get some pads on, rent some pads and helmet. But I remember seeing the older kids there, and like AFI was playing on the stereo.
Yeah, that was really, like, it could be worse.
yeah, it was good music.
Great, yeah.
So that's something I always enjoyed, and it's crazy that like I still dig that stuff today because that stuck with me since
we were
that
so
young age. Yeah, but you're like, this is something that I like, and why like stray from this if it's cool?
Yeah.
And it always has been cool. It still is.
They pair so well together, music and skateboarding.
Yes,
definitely, especially in that era too.
Music and skateboarding is
how crazy was it?
Man, it really is.
How crazy was it going to that indoor skate park for the first time? Because I mean, it just is unlike any other thing that existed for us back
Where was
then.
that at?
It was in Brookville.
Brookville, okay.
So, like 40-minute drive from Punxsutawney. Jacob and our friends would get in the van, and we'd always try to recruit others, like my sister's friends. My sisters tried to get into it.
Yeah, all of our sisters at one point probably learned how to drop in.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
That's good, because it was something that was safe, and it always gets a bad rap. It's like...
We were trying to be like Good Charlotte.
Good Charlotte, man, yeah. Oh, yeah, back in the day, that was it. Yeah, they were blasting on the stereo. But I know even till today it gets a bad rap, like, oh, there's just like some punk skateboarding. But my mom, like I said, would take us, and she'd realize that like this is a safe environment for kids.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot beyond the cover.
The guy that ran it, who you interviewed for your one documentary, Ron, he owned Ramps and Rails, and him and his wife and their kids and their cousins.
It couldn't have been more of a family environment.
Yeah, so it's not a bad thing at all, and that's why I still want to represent skateboarding and rock and roll, because it's like, this is what kids should be doing,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's safe. It's not a bad thing at all. So I'm still here, doing the same thing I've been doing since I was 7.
So
Yeah.
Still got cameras pointed at us.
Yeah, we're still
still on film trying to.
Yeah, so like
make art.
That started with the topic of music, that question, but so like, what was your early involvement with the local music scene, and your what was your involvement with the local music scene? What kind of things did you do?
Yeah, Punxsy was cool. Like, there were punk bands. The Mad Cows, Start Today. And I remember
100,000 Million.
100,000 Million. It was good stuff, and we'd go to their MySpace page and be like, I like this band, and
we knew all the words to all the 100,000 Million songs.
Yeah, but what was really cool was we would see those guys in town.
Yeah.
And we'd think that they were like rock stars, but they were just like guys like us nowadays. They're just in their 20s trying to play music and skate. And there was always an event going on. There was always a show at the community center, a dodgeball event with bands playing afterward.
I think
it's crazy.
I think credit is due to Chad Bracken for a lot of those shows.
I was going to bring up Chad.
Yeah, he's a kind of a mentor for us when we were kids.
Chad's the man.
Quite a bit older, but I mean, he really created a music scene for us. I mean, we had a lot of really popular bands play in Punxsy. Bands like Set Your Goals played, and Crime in Stereo, and I'm sure you want to get more into that.
Yeah.
He has a weird
connection. It's almost jump right to it.
Let's hear that.
Yeah.
So Chad Bracken, Punxsutawney dude, promoter, awesome dude. But back in the day, he got a hold of my oldest sister, Lisa, because they went to high school together. And Crime in Stereo, this awesome New York, like, prog punk,
hardcore, post-hardcore.
Yeah.
They're on Bridge
check
9,
out Monster. Yeah.
which was the shit at the time.
They were like
They're still involved with things, right?
They're playing somewhere.
I'm just curious.
look them up. Let's look it up.
Well, Bridge 9, right? They're still around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so Chad got a hold of my sister Lisa, and he's like, "Hey, the community center, the local venue fell through. He's like, can we have Crime and Stereo play in your garage?" And they did. He booked this show with 2 or 3 other local bands, and then Crime and Stereo headlined, and it was right below this room.
Mm-hmm.
Crime and Stereo played in my garage, and my sister Lisa like put on the show. She gave the okay, but it's funny because it became like Kevin's garage. you know? It became like my venue that I had at age 12. You know, so
Yeah, that's tight.
I was into skateboarding at the time. I had a mini ramp.
Same ramp from
Ramps
said
and Rose,
indoor
yeah.
skate
There's,
park.
we were talking about earlier.
Because it shut down, so like my mother bought the materials for one mini ramp that they had, and it was in my yard for years. R.I.P. to the mini ramp. It was right over there.
Yeah.
But
Spent a lot of good times in that mini ramp.
so my garage down below became this like Punxsutawney venue for a few years because it had a mini ramp, and we'd play basketball, and it was just a bunch of kids coming together to watch a show, but you could skate. And
There were some good shows. There was
I think it had
Off
positive.
Their Heads.
Yeah.
Off Their Heads play it, yeah.
I think those type of things
Crime
have
and
positive
Stereo.
impacts on people.
Just the other day, I go to school at IUP, Indiana, right now, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and some kid, honestly, like, we were just chilling, and he put on Off With Their Heads. I'm like, is this Off With Their Heads? He's like, yeah, this band's sick. I'm like, yeah, they played in my garage. I was like, I was like 14.
Yeah.
But he's like, what? But yeah, so I always
That's
just.
some cred.
It is. I got street cred. I do.
You got a good resume.
I do have a resume. But so why not keep that ball rolling? Like, it's like, yeah,
exactly,
we could skate
exactly.
and watch a band. Like, that's the coolest thing.
So did having those events at your house and then maybe starting to go to some of those local shows, did that influence you to start up something?
Yeah. Freshman year of high school, I was like trying to meet new people. So I was like, hey, do you guys want to start like a punk band? And our buddy Brock played drums, who we would jam with in middle school.
A very good friend.
And, like,
Shout out Brock James.
Brock James, the man. But like through middle school, you know, I'd play talent shows. I played a talent show in 5th grade. I played an original song in 5th grade. That was my first time playing in front of an audience. A song called 3 Little Pigs that I wrote. So, you know, I played talent shows, but I was like, I want to play shows. You know, I want to be in a band that goes out and does stuff besides talent shows. So, but
Thank you.
so freshman year, our buddy Brock, he was a drummer, and he still is, but I was like, hey, do you want to start a band? Let's find some new people because we're in high school now. You know, it's like let's.
Well, that's everyone's attitude. In
Yeah,
high school.
let's meet some new people. So we met Jacob Yanukovych.
Mm-hmm. Wienerface.
Yeah, who we're still in cahoots with.
Yeah,
till
we're
this
cahoots.
day. Yeah, but he's like I don't know, I play bass and like, I like Fugazi. I'm like okay, like.
It's a lot of layers. To
I watched him break his wrist. Over snowboard.
Oh yeah, we'd all go. Yeah,
he kept re-breaking his wrist. we got him into skateboarding after he broke his wrist, and then he kept re-breaking.
Yeah, but that was your bass player in your band.
Yeah. So, yeah, I tried to meet all new people, and then this kid Cody, he could drive, so he like we're like, okay, do you want to sing? Yeah, Cody Seatree. We're like, dude, do you want to sing? And he's like, yeah. He's like, what do you want me to do? Because he was in like metal bands and stuff.
He like Terror. I remember him always wearing the Terror tank.
Hardcore and stuff. So I was like, do you want to sing in this band? Because none of us want to sing. And he's like, I don't care, I will. And you can drive, you have a Jeep. It's like, okay, let's start a band. So I wanted it to be like 3-chord punk rock, but they're like, no, we like hardcore. And I didn't really know what that was. Mm-hmm. And they all claimed straight edge. And I was 15, 16.
Like, yeah, I'm straight edge too.
Yeah, I wasn't doing drugs. It's like I shouldn't.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing at 15 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, no, you shouldn't be having promiscuous
Yeah,
sex.
you're having orgies and things.
But that got me into like, it's like, oh, Minor Threat, like this is cool. I never knew about these bands until that Some Came Running, that band formed, and we claimed straight edge at Young Bucks claiming straight edge.
Straight edge, yeah.
Yeah, look at us now.
Oh, I remember. Well, you guys
You know who
opened
else?
up for a lot of pretty cool bands.
Yeah, we tried to do it at that young age because we were all eager, and MySpace was huge.
It's cool to claim something. When you claim straight edge, I mean, like you're a part.
Well,
you're a part
yeah,
of
we stood for something.
Yeah,
and
standing for something, representing something.
we, didn't want to be outcasts, but we wanted to be like, oh,
Proud of what you're different about.
and we
why
were
you're
proud.
different.
We're not out there drinking like all the jocks. Like we're playing music and like shoving it in your face,
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually did stuff for a hot minute. It lasted a little over a year, but we got to open up for like this band Energy, this band Debaser.
Debaser.
And it was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like this is actually working.
This is hell? No?
We didn't play with This Is Hell.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did.
This is hell?
Play with too many people, we can't even.
Crime in
Dang.
Stereo?
Hey, did you?
Oh yeah. And then so after the hardcore, I was like, this is too noisy. I was like, I like catchy stuff. So our friend Dean.
Maybe
and
some
I-
melodies, huh?
Yeah, let's sing along.
Yeah.
And this is high school, right?
This is high school. We're still in the high school.
We're in
right?
high school.
Yeah.
So get prepared for a little bit of embarrassing.
Well, this
influences.
is everyone's
Oh,
experimental, and
Yeah.
like
Well, this is
what we're
your
doing right now is
experimental
even
year.
an experimental thing. What we're doing right
Yeah.
now, so you can imagine how we were when we were in high school.
Yeah, in
You
high
gotta
school,
play.
you're not even
You
a
gotta
person
Dip
yet.
your toes in, and
You're still a
fiddle
kid.
around with
Like
things.
we weren't adults, but we were like, we want to stand for something that people will really like. Like we're like, maybe chicks will dig it, So we like wrote like pop punk, like
With
sappy
Dean.
songs. Yeah, we got into Blink-182, Newfound Glory,
yeah.
and I was like, yeah, you can sing along to this. It's not too noisy. It's not noisy at all. But that was the music scene, Like it was all like, who can be the toughest, the loudest, like heaviest.
You're almost like forecasting trends at that point.
Oh yeah.
Or like, you know what I mean? It's like something that you're basically in the hit trend currently, but you're like in your head you're trying to like be a step ahead.
Well,
You're not necessarily in the current trend, but you're trying to be at the step ahead before someone gets there. You're like, oh, I'm gonna forecast that this is coming up, or this is what really sounds good to me before other people catch on. So I'm gonna hit that wave before other people catch on to the wave.
Yeah.
Type of deal.
And I feel like young kids in high school, like that's what they.
That's like the constant competition.
Yeah.
Almost. And in the creative field.
But I never wanted to like be like a scary guy. I always wanted to be accepted, and like I did track in high school and stuff.
Yeah, you're a good athlete.
Thanks.
You
It's
were.
from skateboarding.
Yeah.
In
Definitely. I mean, you got to be a
Right?
good athlete to skateboard.
in 10th grade, I went to states
Yeah.
for triple jump in track,
You triple jump very far.
and
I think
did
like you have to be
48 feet. 48
Is
feet.
that it?
I almost got the school
Dude,
record.
that's damn
and long
sweet.
jump too, both. But it's from skateboarding, just like being sprint.
Yeah, and I think also you were always like the dude that could like learn how to backflip when you were really young on a trampoline.
Yeah, you did a lot of
and
backflips.
You did a lot of running up walls and backflipping when we got into high school.
That comes from the
You
skateboarding
got the
and-
drive, the energy.
also like Jackass. You're just like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. Like
Yeah.
CKY videos. You
Yeah.
know, it's like let's do.
Yeah,
Crazy
you want to
stuff.
imitate. You want to imitate all that stuff from YouTube.
Yeah, which might not
Yeah.
be great.
Sometimes, yeah, obviously it's not always good.
It's crazy that at the time Jackass was such a big influence to everyone, but to us it was. I feel like inadvertently it was more of an influence because they literally were doing all this stuff in Pennsylvania. So all the, them jumping off of a church roof into a bush. Well, that's a very real place for us.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
those guys even came here to our hometown.
Yeah.
We have to get into
Yeah,
details.
I met Bam when he came to. I met the whole like Viva La Bam crew.
You meet
And
Rab himself.
I did meet Rab. I got Ryan Dunn's autograph.
Oh, that's
R.I.P.,
sick, dude.
you
Rest
know.
in peace, Ryan Dunn.
Yeah.
One of the coolest, and I really have deep respect because he was into BMX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was actually
we could relate.
hero.
We could relate random hero.
Yeah.
But we could relate to those because they were from Westchester,
Yeah.
PA.
The eastern side of PA.
Yeah, we're from Punxsutawney. It's like, oh, like this is the same stuff that we have. in
Yeah,
our
they're
town.
very familiar.
Let's emulate
Similarities, a lot of similarities.
I remember Jake Miller, who
One of
Mutual friend.
dear friend to us.
Yes. The Miller boys all rode BMX.
Heavy
and
influence.
I'd
me,
spend weeks at a time in elementary school in the summer because they had the fresh trails. They had these awesome BMX
Acorn
trails,
grenade.
and they ripped. Yeah, and they made a logo and everything. It's like this is like our
that shit
trail.
got me so fired up. That really lit a fire. And you guys can feel. I mean, we're lucky that it's cool how we're all different in our own ways, but it does bleed into one another and it does intersect.
We all spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, we did. We spent quite a bit of time there. At
the Miller boys had dirt jumps.
Shouts out Nick and Cody Miller. They're
the twins.
probably getting ready to wake up at 4 a.m. to work on some
They're all adults now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We're trying not to be. But
we're holding on. We're holding on to that last time.
Yeah. But like BMX dirt jumps, they had half pipes, and it was just all in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And they had CKY4 on VHS.
Yeah. It's great attitude about it.
Jake and I would watch it all the time and be like, this is so cool. This is funny. This is hilarious. So we tried to make those videos, tried to like slap each other in the face and like be fun. You know, it's like, this is crazy.
Little kid slaps.
Yeah, little kid slaps. Like, oh, that hurt. Oh man.
So this is all through the high school, and we could talk about that era for three hours.
I had to.
So let's start to get into the transitioning from out of high school when you started going to college, and you did go to IUP out of high school, and then I know you, so that's when you started to kind of fall back to what you got started with.
My roots, man.
Got back to your roots, what you were ultimately comfortable with, what ultimately got you excited and did what you're down with.
You're right. Yeah.
So let's get into that era.
Okay. Yeah. Right after high school, I went to IUP Punxsutawney, so I lived at home, but went to school. I took a full year of college, but at age 18, 19, I was like, I really don't know why I'm here. Like, what do I want to do?
Yeah, it's hard.
So, music was still always there. Skateboarding was there. I kind of drifted off. I was like, nobody's really skating. Like, Jacob and I would hit the skate park. So,
I mean, there's always off and on periods where people don't skate, people do.
Yeah.
And there's 3 months, give or take, 3 to 5 months during the year where you can't skate, so...
Yeah, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We're not in California.
So, it makes it tough every time to get back, jump back in.
Yeah, but... So I was like, okay, I want to, like, focus on the music. And I went back to my roots, got into... I was like, why did I start playing guitar? I was like, the Ramones, AC/DC, like that, you know?
Yeah, AC/DC, man.
Yeah, and just, like, rock and roll. Just, like, I looked up... Why I picked up guitar was because of the guitar gods. I was like, oh, Hendrix, like... Pete Townsend, That's why a lot of kids pick up guitar. But like I said, in high school, it was like hardcore and pop punk. And then I was like, why did I get into guitar? I was like, I want to shred. So I like rock and roll. Like, I still play covers out. It's cool. But during that first year of college, I was like, let me focus on the music. I started going to open mic nights at local bars, and it was all adults, it was mostly adults. But they kind of took me under the wing. This dude, Bruce, he ran the open mic at the old Rumors bar.
I love the old Rumors. Yeah.
Every Wednesday they had open mic, and I was in college, and I was like, let me go. Like, I was like, let me play some Tom Petty songs, And all the adults were like...
Everyone was rooting on with you.
Yeah,
they were really into it, and that give you a little high.
And playing in the high school punk rock bands, it wasn't as, like, sing-along. Nobody knew the words to our song. The singer didn't even know the words to our songs,
we have a lot of
it's more of it just, like, being there, look at me, where I'm at.
Yeah, like, it wasn't a show.
There was a lot of theatrics.
It wasn't a participation type deal.
It wasn't as interactive. I mean, playing covers gets a bad rap, but it's still fun. I mean, I'll go to the bar and play a You know,
I think when you get to a certain age, you
play a Sten song.
Yeah, of course.
You want to go out and you want to play to a bunch of people that are into the set and they know the words and they're having a good time.
And I know that there's like
you don't always get that with local shows.
Well, I know there's a punk rock mentality that's like, oh, cover bands are lame, but I'm still doing it to this day. My band 8 Track Days, we play out every weekend and I make some cash.
Absolutely.
And it's fun.
It's super fun. Like, I don't know. It gets a bad rap, but I don't care. It's fun, and it's rock and roll. It's not like we're
people giving it a bad rap. Ask them what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's like I think the people that would criticize that.
Whenever you hear
don't have room to speak.
When you hear the word bar band, you think of like dads like being like, I gotta put on a do rag tonight to like do rag,
yeah.
You know, it's like
I'm like they have like a separate closet with like their
playing
their outfits for when they're playing.
Yeah,
the stuff they wouldn't normally look like. They almost put on a costume. Where you're looking the same as you do right now when you play on the weekends.
I just like to.
You're real. It's authentic.
Go drink beer and play guitar, and people dig it.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at now. Like being in college and going to those open mics. It was like, hey, do adults want to start like a bar band and do this for some money? And we did, and it's not bad. It's all right. It's cool.
No, I think it's great.
You're playing out at bars. You're getting to play some of the music that you've always wanted to play.
It's fun.
And you're in college. So currently, what is your major in college?
At IUP, Indiana, I just went back 2018 this year for communications media. I took that 5 years off to think about it, and like I worked many jobs. I moved to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I was there for a year and a half, kind of on and off. But I worked in guitar shops. Like right after high school, I was working at Domino's and going to my first year of IUP Punksy. But then I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm going to work at a music store. So I'm talking about the time in between my first year of college and now. I worked at Spots Music Center in Du Bois. Yeah. And I liked it. And then I moved to Pittsburgh and worked at Pittsburgh Guitars. So I was assistant manager at Spots Music Center, but it was kind of a given title. It was like I didn't really earn it. But working in music stores, being a musician, you think like, I'll really dig this. But it's selling music to people and it's selling something that you really don't want to.
Absolutely.
It's like...
It's that type of deal where like, be wary of taking a job with like your favorite hobby.
I felt like it was mixing work with play.
Yeah, like look at
it's like this is a job now.
Yeah.
I have to talk about Avenged Sevenfold to like this kid. It's like I have to talk about.
It'll make you hate it.
If
you do it long enough.
But like working in retail, you have to be like, yeah, man.
You gotta be a salesman at times. You gotta be a real salesman.
Same enthusiasm about it.
And I'm no salesman.
Yeah.
I'm no salesman. Like I hated being interested in like what they like.
You really gotta be phony at times.
So here's a warning: if you're into music, don't work in a music store.
I think that's great. No, I think that's a great warning. I think it is.
I mean,
that gives you a great example.
I worked at two, and no offense to both shops. Like they do a great job. Moving to Pittsburgh was awesome. I worked at Pittsburgh Guitars, which is the best guitar shop in Pittsburgh. But I was like a young buck there, and I felt like I was too like crazy to work there because they're like established, and I'm just like I don't know, like I don't really like that, But you have to be like, oh, like yeah, that band's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
someone's playing the guitar and they're telling you all why they like it. You got to be like, if you don't like them, you still got to be like, oh yeah, they're good. I love the way he does this, but in reality, in your head, you're thinking like, no, I'm being a phony.
Yeah, I'm no salesman, so that's why those jobs didn't work.
So you left Pittsburgh then?
I was there for 2
a year and a half.
I loved Pittsburgh. I mean, I love visiting the city, but
we all love Pittsburgh, man.
Yeah, living there at age 22, I was like this young buck that like wanted to get involved in like the music scene down there and like the skateboarding, and
it was probably beneficial to you.
I made so many connections.
Yeah.
Like I love Pittsburgh. Shout out to you guys. Like I've made a lot of friends there. I still have them, but I was just like too new and like too eager maybe. I was like, hey, like I want to like start a band with you, and everyone's like, I'm already in like 5 other bands. You know, it's like, who are you? You know, like what are you doing in Pittsburgh? I'm like, nothing. Like I want to get involved, but I liked it a lot, but I wasn't ready to live there because I didn't have any credentials.
Mm-hmm.
I just like moved there on a whim.
That's tough. I want to. Is it a good time to jump into? I'd love to jump into the topic of the promoter side of you. Think it's a good time to jump into that?
Yeah, that was more or less where I was going.
Yeah,
with the college thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So like we said at the beginning, Kevin's a skateboarder, musician, promoter. So
working
at it. I mean, you're constantly working at your craft, and so the promoter thing I think suits you so very well, and I think it's like ideal for someone like you because you're such a good person when it comes to taste making and finding these underground, undiscovered, diversified groups, whether it's music or art or any type of creative outlet, and then bringing them into one place to have an event. So start to bring me into your world when you started to think like, having an event or being a promoter is something that I feel passionate about or I feel a drive towards.
Okay. Yes. In that off time, I was looking for jobs after Pittsburgh. I was looking for jobs. I worked at a machine shop, Argo Machine.
Oh, I forgot.
I worked there, and like that wasn't ideal. But I also on the side worked with my mom's cousin Jeff Kuntz. Mm-hmm. So
Uncle Jeff.
It's Uncle Jeff. Yeah. You guys know Jeff.
Yeah, great guy. I like him a lot.
I started working with him. He's a handyman, and we just like would find all jobs, mow lawns and stuff. But he would always reminisce about his days at like these van jams. Mm-hmm. Back in late 70s, early 80s, he'd gather up his crew, get in the van, and just go to this event. And he'd be like, "Oh, it's awesome." He's like, "There's bands playing, there's tits out," and like, you know, he's like, "It's crazy, it's crazy."
That's
and
spot on.
You guys actually just should be interviewing Jeff, because
I think that quote is pretty much Jeff in a nutshell.
Yeah, there you go. This whole interview tits out. As soon as you say the entire interview, there are tits everywhere, tits everywhere, tits everywhere.
But before working with him, like I always thought, here, let me throw this in real quick. I always thought Jeff was just like our hillbilly relative that like we didn't associate with. But then like him and I started hanging out. Whenever I started working with him, I was like, "Hey Jeff, can I like help you out?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll give you $10 to come clean out this junk with me." But he'd always talk about these van jams that he'd go to, mm-hmm. and I was like, "Well, why isn't like this stuff happening now?"
Yeah,
you know, he'd show me photo books, like actually, you know, that's a lost art. Photo books, mm-hmm. like old. Like, disposable camera photos, and it's just like this looks
gets me hyped up thinking about it.
But it's like, dude, this looks insane. Mm-hmm. Like what you did back in 1980. He's like, there's bands playing, there's vans, there's people burning out on motorcycles. Yeah, I was like, this is cool. I was like, let's like do something like this. Yeah, you know, like today. Yeah, I was like, let's do this in 2017. You know? So working with him. One of our his side project was building this lagoon in his backyard, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna build a lagoon," and like an outdoor swimming pool, underground swimming pool. That's what I meant, but just dug out and like very hillbilly style. Let's build a lagoon. It's
basically like Jeff's living
it's cool
situation.
As hell, though, man.
It's awesome.
Yeah. He basically just has like all this land.
35-acre farm.
35 acres.
Shit that we love, man. I love that.
And he just, so cool. You know, he's a bachelor and he kind of just does what he wants out there. It's really It's an ideal way to live, I think. You know, it's a choice.
And he makes money when he needs to just by getting jobs. Yeah. So I was like, let's put on one of those van jams. And he was building this lagoon. And I was like, I want to do a van jam. And you have a lagoon. Let's call it Weekend at the Black Lagoon. Like, I want it to just be chaos. Like, you know,
Probably had an idea in your head right at the get-go.
I did. I was like, this is...
And you gotta
I
carry
was like,
it.
you have a great location, man, for like these events that you would talk about in the past.
Yep.
The van jams, the motorcycle rallies. I was like, you have the land.
Yeah.
So I had the crazy idea, and what is awesome
Was
is
it
he was
like,
all about it. He was like, yeah. He's like, he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, let's get some bands.
Do you remember like the? Do you remember like the? This is a hard question. Do you remember like the exact moment that idea kind of birthed inside you? Or like, were you doing something with Jeff, like working on something where all of a sudden you're out in his backyard and it's like all of a sudden in your head you feel this idea come into existence?
The lagoon. We were, we were working on it. We didn't have it finished at all, but I was envisioning. I was like, a band could play right under your porch.
Yeah, you start
I was like, people could be hanging out by the lagoon. And then all these ideas started rolling in. He is a man full of ideas. He's like, there needs to be a tiki bar. There needs
to be a tiki bar with tits.
Yeah, it's crazy.
His
stripper pool.
input is all where the bars are.
Yeah, there needs to be booze.
There needs to be a stripper pool there.
Yeah. Oh, he's like a bunch of naked people. Because that's what it was back then.
That's
what he saw.
Yeah, it's funny.
And there's photographs. There's proof. But like naked people walking around just like swimming and like doing games, like playing cornhole or like having a contest to see who can do like the grossest thing or something. You know?
Yeah.
It was chaos.
There's activities. High tense activities going on.
These events,
adult activities.
These events looked crazy, so I wanted to do that now. And
I'm happy that happened.
Summer 2017, we were finishing the lagoon up, and we weren't close to being finished. But I was like, hey, in August, I have the date set. I have 3 bands coming. So a buddy's Naked Spirit played, Below the Trenches played. And because these are like guys like you went on tour. You went on tour with Naked
Our
Spirit.
Western PA natives.
They're our homies.
Yeah, they're our homies.
Friends.
But there wasn't many shows going on. You know.
No, they were all playing out. They weren't playing in Tunxie.
The community center died off.
Like,
no venue.
Absolutely.
But I was like, let's do another Punxsutawney show. Let's have an event. So I had this crazy idea, the Black Lagoon, and honestly, I have to give a shout out. And I told you guys about this. But up in upstate New York, this dude Andy Animal puts on Meltasia Fest.
Yeah.
And it's a back.
So bad I wasn't able to go there with you, man.
It's okay. Same thing, like Meltasia. I mean, I do have to give a shout out because it was kind of the inspiration for this.
Yeah, of course. You get those inspirations.
No, and I was like, oh, like he's doing like a backwoods upstate New York camping event. So I was like, I want to do a van jam camping band.
Yeah.
Event.
Sick. Yeah.
So that was the birth of Weekend at the Black Lagoon. Jeff and I were working on that lagoon, busted our asses that summer just to build the lagoon. Our stage was 3 pieces of plywood on the ground under his porch. You know, that was the stage. But it worked out.
But I'll tell you what, I was at the 2017 one, and I'll vouch for, this is personally, but I'll vouch for everyone else. It was one of the funnest. I came back from vacation. I was like dead.
You made it.
And I was like, I have to go there. One of the best times of my life.
And honestly,
absolutely,
I wish
easily, full-heartedly, one of the best times of my life, man. I had so much fun.
I'm a little unprepared.
And that was even before. I mean, I didn't get to go to the 2018, and I think that you could talk about it more, but the growth between Weekend at the Black Lagoon 2017 and Weekend at the Black Lagoon 2018 had significant growth. And I wasn't able to go to the 2018 one, but damn, man, like the amount of fun I had, I only I'm thinking about 2019. 2019 Black Lagoon, man.
That's gonna be
that's
my baby. That's my baby.
And planning and stuff, like you're in that field of communications, and I mean that takes time. I mean sometimes you got to be planning that stuff almost a year ahead of time.
Oh yeah,
some different aspects.
I'm learning that stuff, but there's a lot to learn about putting on a big thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2017, the first Black Lagoon, I came unprepared for this event, but I had a flyer. Can you grab that flyer?
Yeah, we got the...
This is
the 2018 one.
This is for 2018, just like... This was the first promotion. I was like, hey, I'm doing this again. So this was last summer's. Yeah. Weekend at the Black Lagoon, baby. Jacob made that logo.
Yeah,
Graphic
sick.
designer.
I love this. I love this
Yeah.
poster.
But the 2017 one, the first lagoon, Jeff and I were working on that all summer, and it came down to like 2 weeks beforehand. We like didn't have the lagoon done at all, so we busted our ass for 2 weeks digging a lagoon, stoning.
Man labor, physical labor.
Yeah,
Doing.
we had to like do some masonry work and like stone the bottom of it, tarp it. Like we wanted to make it swimmable, you know.
Yep.
And that was just the lagoon. That was just that. The
One tiny aspect of the whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's a lot that goes into it. And for 2 guys, and with like a 2 week notice, I was like, hey, I'm putting on this show. I was like, Naked Spirit, Below the Trenches, my band 8 Track Days is gonna play. That's like all I really had that year. But
Perfect.
oh, Liquid Dave played. Yeah.
Is that too? Liquid Dave played 2017.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Our Brookville Boys came out.
Shout out Brookville Boys. Love you guys.
Yeah. Which is awesome because it was like a 2 week notice, but it worked. And then like honestly, like over 100 people were there.
Dude, I think immediately after that was over, I think most people were already anticipating the next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it was
that's when you know it's a good event.
It was very short notice, but people showed up and just like randos from Punxsutawney, like random people from Punxsutawney like showed up because they heard about it.
But that's
word of mouth.
exactly the kind of audience that you want.
Yeah,
You know, a lot of times
it's for everybody.
When you advertise a show, people think that it is just going to be this weird intimate thing where if you either have to be in a band or you've had to been to shows before that, you know, I can't go to that. I'm not going to know anyone, whatever. It's like this kind of an event is like, it's basically a festival, like a county fair for adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a dream. It's like a dream local event for people like us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot.
It's just
you'd be surprised the amount of kids like. This is. I mean, it really is, man. You really. Thank you for hosting this. And I like I said, I feel really.
It's gonna be
sucks
an annual
that
thing.
I left for vacation. That should have hung back, but
It's gonna
yeah,
be an annual
dude,
thing.
you even
Right.
helped me out selling Cellar. Like I all I did was send a box.
Well, we gotta transition from
Yeah.
So 2017 was a success.
Yep.
2018 was an even bigger success.
Yep.
Let's talk about the progression.
Yeah.
there.
Let's talk about the progression.
It's 2017, the 3 bands, 4 band bill,
Quick
And-
little things.
little
They're
3
together.
plywood, 3 plywood stage. But people showed up and brought vans. That's like what I wanted to see. Motorcycles, and I was like, this is what I want to see. So I was like, okay, next year should be sick. Let's promote it. And
Prep
Had
a little
more
harder.
time to prepare.
yeah, so Jeff has this 300-foot hill going into his pond in his backyard. And this was his idea just like for fun, because this is how crazy Jeff is. He's like, I'm going to build a slip and slide into the pond. So I was like, let's do that at my fest. You know, it's like, let's do that at the lagoon. So yeah, 2018, I had months to promote it. I asked multiple bands, and the majority of them showed up. We had 17 bands in 2018.
That is so tight.
So
man.
just this summer, it was super cool. So last summer of 2018, Jeff and I, just 2 guys, we had help here and there, but we busted our ass building an awesome stage instead of the 3 plywood stage. And then my dumb ass is just like, let's build 2 stages. It's like let's have
Let's compound the work.
let's have
Dude,
a Friday
it really
stage.
added to the whole 2-day
bet it-
festival.
Let's have a Friday stage and a Saturday.
That variety
stage.
makes a big difference, I think. Like
It
you almost
did.
have separate parties
It was-
going.
it
At
was-
that point, you really start to
It was
you
two
really
different
start to
parties.
create a true
Yeah.
festival environment or a true event environment when you have. It'd be even crazy if you had. Say next year, maybe we have 3. You have different people at each one, man. I'm saying that is a beautiful thing to me.
I can see
You're
Jeff's
not going to
legs.
be able to walk around without tripping over the stage.
So many stages.
The minefield of stages.
There's gonna be bands playing at the same time.
That would be crazy. That's the goal.
But we could have done that because
Yeah, you probably could have.
35 acres.
You
You
were
can be-
far enough away.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could be somewhere, and if there's someone you don't like there, which was my concern, putting on an event, and like you said, I'll talk about like the acts that I brought, but having like multiple scenes there. It's like there's gonna be some punk rock kids. There's gonna be like rock and roll dudes. There's gonna be just random.
There's gonna be some rednecks.
The
Yeah, there's gonna
man.
be
Those are the classics.
Punxsutawney rednecks.
Classic.
But it's like, is something gonna happen? But Jeff would always be like, he's like, 35 acres, if you don't like someone, walk away. You know? He's like, you can go somewhere else, you know? So I was like, okay, this is safe, but I do want to learn. I'm in school for communications to learn how to put these things on as legit as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But we tried, and this was before like me going to school last summer.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of kicked my ass to go into school to learn this stuff.
That's
but
cool. It's cool as hell.
putting on an event, I'm like, had to think of all the aspects. Like, what if people under 21 are drinking, you know? What if someone gets hurt? What if there's a fight, you know? So I came up with the idea of everyone gets a wristband, under 21 gets a blue wristband, whatever, above 21 gets...
So that was in 2018?
Yeah.
I wasn't... Okay.
Yeah.
You did have wristbands.
We had wristbands. Yeah, but that idea kind of like... I want to learn how to put on a real event.
Well, that's what.
But we tried. We had a waiver that everyone had to sign. But not everyone signed it because it just got so crazy. But I need to learn. I need to learn how to organize this stuff.
Well, you lack of manpower too. I mean, you got to have a team almost, and I guess tough.
Shout out to my mom and her friends. Like they cooked.
Dude, that's so
they
tight.
cooked all this food.
We're involved. In
cooked hot dogs.
Your sisters helped, didn't they?
Yeah. We tried
well,
to make
you
it.
gotta bring up Tyler too. He did the whole mural and the.
Yeah.
Did all the pancakes.
Jeff's kid Tyler, my second cousin, he's a tattoo artist, great artist. And the Friday night stage, I was like, I could see there being like a crazy mural in the back. I want this festival to look cool. And he painted like this river scene, and it was a great stage.
Yeah. I saw photos of it and I was impressed.
Christmas lights, and all that whole summer, we're just like thinking of all these ideas. We're like, let's have something goofy here. Let's have something goofy here because at a festival, a music festival, you want to see stuff that you're not. It's not just going to be boring, you know.
There's a reason why you're there. You're trying to get out of the mundanity of life.
Yeah, and it's backwoods, and you have to see crazy stuff.
It is a perfect low-budget way to unplug. Like, that weekend, you are out in the middle of nowhere. It's like no holds barred. You just do whatever you want.
Yeah. Bring a tent.
Base level, that's what you get. You get to do whatever you want, but there's other stuff to do.
But the thing is that this was a big concern of mine. I was like, is this going to be too chaotic? I was like, is it going to be crazy? So the waiver, but it turned out fine. Like the waiver was a good idea, but I think it's fine because whenever you bring all those people together, it's like we're not like here to start stuff. We're here because we all want to be here and enjoy this. Let's not. If one person messes up, it messes up for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
And I think people realize that.
It went smooth. There wasn't a lot of ruckus.
No, and like I said, bringing all those acts together, 17 bands was the bill. And it was awesome.
That's intense, really.
Yeah. Bunch of Pittsburgh bands because I lived there. I was in contact with them. Yeah. No Time headlined, just Pittsburgh punk rock band. Yeah. Pittsburgh punk rock headlined. I had Stephen Miles rapping. His set.
First time he performed, huh?
Yeah,
that was his first. I think
he performed before, but at something.
I'd say first official.
Yeah, it was official because people were like
people actually can't maybe.
He had one of the most anticipated sets of the night, just because there were a lot of punksy people there.
Yes, and for my event, like me being in charge, you know, I want to just bring in acts that I like. Like, if you don't like them, don't.
So you should do if you're host.
I mean, yeah, I want to bring in these acts that I dig. So, like, I was like, oh, Steven, like, you're killing it rapping. I was like, play a set at my thing. I had this heavy band, Myers. I had Alyssa Hankey playing her folk music, who is killing it right now. Alyssa's awesome.
Yeah, you'll be most likely, out of probably any band that played, I could see Alyssa being on the radio.
Yeah, I know. She's great.
She's
killing it.
So let me keep it rolling. What great great insights and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna ask this question now. We could talk for hours, but we talked about the 2017-2018.
The flash.
Here's the most important question. What are some anticipations from you, whether you've started thinking about it or not, that you're thinking about of supplementing into the 2019 weekend at the Black Lagoon? Yeah, I bet you are, man.
Well, we talked about skateboarding. This summer, the project is going to be a mini ramp. Definitely some sort of skate ramp. Yes.
You gonna start from the ground up?
Yeah.
Tight.
I have materials from the old mini ramp.
Yeah.
But this summer,
that jackass rap party with Andrew WK.
Yeah, we want fun, baby. But I want to incorporate skateboarding. Last year it was mostly just like focused on like bring your motorcycle in your van, and there's a slip and slide.
Mm-hmm.
Like I talked about the slip and slide, which was a big hit.
The highlights.
That was a great hit.
What's a great hit?
The preparing for the slip and slide.
Oh jeez. 365-foot long slip and slide, and this is all Jeff, because he just like wanted to do this for just like his own fun. But I was like, let's do it at the lagoon.
Was Jeff hyped on it?
Oh yeah.
So people were. I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but were people like really like involved? People were using it. People were sliding.
Oh
down.
yeah.
That was a big hit.
That's so sick, man.
Dude,
I had no idea how that turned out.
It was sort of like a really good demographic of people, like people that played in bands.
Again.
Like
No offense. I'm gonna. You see that? No offense, but I want to say that the slip and slide may have been a game changer. It's like, where can you go see bands and like slide down a 365-foot slip and slide into a dirty ass pond?
No, that is so.
And people dug it.
Yeah.
People dug it. So big sheets of plastic.
Bravo on that.
Okay, so like I said, we busted our asses all summer building the stages and stuff, but there was more to that because Jeff lives on a farm. I baled hay with him all summer. We baled hay, and like he taught me how to do that. You know, he's like, "Here, run this tractor," and there's a baler behind. I'm just okay.
I loved because you'd be sending me Snapchats and pictures and stuff of you in intermission and like in progress of doing this, and like I'd be getting these, and they were so sick, man. I'd be sitting at work and I'd be like envious, even though you're working hard. You're definitely working hard, but it's like you'd be sending me a nice scenic view of like you driving the tractor,
like
and a nice open field in front of you.
I'm getting paid
you're like,
to do that.
No, and you're like, I'm prep work like 3 or 4 months ahead of time. Like that is so tight.
But that was something that needed done anyway.
Yeah.
Jeff's field needed mowed, and there needed to be hay made. But it's like, hey, you have you're gonna have like 1 million hay bales. Let's use them. So we used hay bales to block off all the areas. So cars wouldn't drive into like where you're watching the band, you know. So there was a hay bale section for the stage up at the top of the hill. There was a hay bale section for like this bonfire. We built like a fire pit with this big tire ring that he had. Built a fire pit within like a camping area, but just to block off so people know where to go. And then we even, my mom's friend Sandy drew a little map of Jeff's land and handed it out at the lagoon.
That's sick.
Yeah, it's like slip and slide here.
Yeah, that's so sick.
And hay bales were used on each side of the slip and slide to hold down this plastic, and they were. It's like it was good to use them.
I feel like
they needed use.
Yeah, I feel like it geared us off, but get back to this. Get back to the 2019. 2019, man. I'm thinking about. Jacob, go ahead. I'm sorry. I want Jacob to get in there.
There's a part of the slip and slide that I want to talk about.
Yeah. You were there.
All right. Well, there was days.
Well, you guys talk about this. I'll be back, fellow viewers. I gotta do a human process.
All right, this will be good. I don't know if Jake knows about this.
I don't know, but that's fine.
I'm talking about the casualty of the slip and slide. Before. I think it's not anything to do with the faultiness of the slip and slide.
No, but it did scare us a little bit.
Yeah.
So a week before the Black Lagoon, Jeff wanted to test out his slip and slide. So he had a party with just like his son Ronnie and all of his friends, and this girl Tracy went down the slip and slide with like a kid on her lap, and you go fast. Like you,
Yeah.
you go fast down that slip and slide.
In her defense, it does sort of look like it mellows out and that you might be able to stop, but you go faster than what it looks.
So.
Or say what happened.
Yeah. Tracy went down to the kid on her lap and tried to stop at the end, put her foot out and like caught a hay bale, and she put her leg out and honestly like, shattered her femur and like her pelvis, and got life flighted from Jeff's land, and we're like,
It's a minor setback.
it was like, should we do this like with a bunch of people, with a bunch of drunk people, you know?
It was funny. That was like the talk. Every time I went to the top of that slip and slide, they were talking about that broken leg.
It's like, psst, yeah, you know, some girl broke her.
Someone broke their leg in the slip and slide.
She almost
Yeah.
died. But it's
Damn.
like, yeah, it'll be fine. Just be careful. But there were no
It all worked
casualties. Yeah, there were no casualties at the event. But a week prior,
We just had a test go wrong.
yeah, it was that was.
Maybe we shouldn't give out too much about 2019 weekend.
No, I want to.
Make it a
I want
surprise.
to.
Wanna- Yes.
No, because I have ideas cooking.
Yeah. I'd love. Let's get some like early excitement about it because
Yes.
I
wanna hype it
know
up.
for a fact you got some ideas
Let's hype it up.
boiling.
Can I check one thing?
Hype it
I
up.
just want to check that.
He's checking that camera. Shit's flowing like the goddamn Niagara right now.
Alright, so I think you asked about the...
I was asking about the transition. Yeah, we had a little intermission, little tiny intermission there, and we were getting all hyped up on the weekend at the Black Lagoon that Kevin has successfully pulled off 2 years in a row. Very gnarly, very beautiful thing, and so basically what I want to hear from him is like get us excited for 2019. What do you got in store? What do you got?
Yeah.
What do you got planned out?
Well, I am currently going around and finding new bands, finding new artists that aren't even local. You know, last year it was all Pittsburgh and Punxsutawney based musicians, but I want to go out and
Branching out.
I've found bands from New York City, bands from Ohio that I just dig their sound. So I'm just like, hey, I'm putting on this fest. Like, come
They're
play.
receptive of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nothing cemented, but I'm going to keep bugging people about it. And I am.
Yeah.
This band, Sarah Shook and the Disarmers, she's an awesome country artist that I
Yeah.
found. Went and saw her, met her, and every time I go see a band, I make sure I shake their hand and let them know what I'm doing.
That's smart.
And I'm like, hey, like I'm not a kid, like I'm serious about this
Yeah.
event that I want to put on.
It's
And
important.
I hype it up. I'm just like, it's called Weekend at the Black Lagoon. There's going to be skateboarding, hopefully mini ramp, but that's 2019. But new bands that you don't see, you don't hear of, because you know we're close to Pittsburgh. We can see these bands anytime, but I want to bring new artists in and make it diverse, make it country musicians, make it folk musicians, rap artists.
So yeah, it sounds like a lot of expansion.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Takes effort and time, and you got a whole lot of time to prep, but I mean, never too early.
No, so I'm making those connections now. And
I'd love to see a mini ramp out there. Holy hell.
Oh yeah.
So speaking of, we talked a lot about the lagoon, and there's some other events that you do that are more based around skateboarding. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Like I said, I want new bands, and it doesn't have to be a show. I want to put on other events, maybe an art show or something. A skateboarding event, like you were there just this Halloween. I put on this event. I have this flyer. It was on Tuesday, October 23rd. It was Dawn of the Shred at Mack Park in Indiana.
Oh shit. I missed that one too.
Yeah. But I was like, come out, wear a costume. It's a Halloween event, and it was influenced on like Thrasher's, you know, what do they do? Like Thrasher Deathmatch, Thrasher Hellbomb, because they're doing cool events based on skateboarding, and there's contests. Win a prize for doing best trick over a hay bale. That's what we did. We had hay bales. I
Took a very long time to get more than a couple tricks over the ball.
Yeah, it took a while, but I did a Halloween event at the local Indiana skate park, Dawn of the Shred. Gave it a goofy name because that works, you know. It's like, what is this? I want to check this out. So, like, Weekend at the Black Lagoon is a goofy name. Dawn of the Shred. But people were just like, let me check this out. And I promoted it as a WIUP FM event, the local radio station that I'm a part of at Indiana University of Pennsylvania. But yeah, and it was like anybody can come out and just let's like watch some skateboarding, and it's gonna be Halloween themed. I decorated the whole skate park, had pitchforks and hay bales and candy, cooked some hot dogs. But events are what I'm focusing on. I want to have listening parties.
Yeah, our friends are involved with music.
Yeah, if someone comes out and they're my homie and they like, hey, I put out this new album, I'll be like, well, let's promote your new album somehow.
Let's do whatever we can do to help it come out better. Help expose it better.
If they're into it, I'll be into it, and hit me up. Seriously, if I'm down with new art being made, and a way to promote it in a fun way that everybody can be involved, not just like, oh, you have to like this certain thing, you have to like skateboarding or rock and roll. It's like, no, like if you want to come see some art, like check it out, like come through.
Exactly. You have to be delving into the exact culture of whatever it is they're putting out.
Yeah.
We're here to really like embrace it all.
But it's hard to find a reason to do something, you know. There has to be a reason to put on one of these events, and that's hard, but I want to try to dig deeper into a reason to put on something. Like I said, an art show would be cool. A listening party would be cool. What else? Maybe just to come out and let's paint a picture. You know, like I don't know.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly what's things do pop up.
And I'm not saying I'm not saying like, oh, I'm the man and I have all these ideas cooked up, but like I said, you need a reason to do something, and I'm trying to find a reason to have some fun and have everybody involved. You know?
Yeah. Definitely.
What else?
Man, I'm excited for hearing all that. I mean, I'm thinking of the next event currently. I mean, I really want people to put their neck out there. Really, like, don't be afraid to say, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm trying to get out there.
And I think that's what people
even come to someone like, I'm not saying, like Kevin said, we don't have all the answers, and we're not. But like we can help you. We'd be happy to hold an event, a listening party, a viewing party. I mean, anything. Like we're talking about, we'd love to, for the Cave Planet podcast. One of the things we're most excited about doing with Cave Planet, which I'm sure will come, is having like a live action podcast type deal where we go to a big party and we can set up like we are now and have random event goers come in and talk for 5 minutes at a time, or free for all, play some hijinks on us, like to really truly show the fun behind all this, and how it is a type of content creation, and it's fun. Like we could post up like this at the next semi-event. It doesn't have to be as big as the Black Lagoon, but we set up and people come out and people see something like this and they want to be involved with it. I know there's a lot more people out there that want to be involved with this type of activity that don't feel like they're not comfortable with doing it, and quit being not comfortable, because all you got to do is dive in, and then everything kind of comes after that. I mean,
I'm trying to reach out to more people that have pop-up shops and vendors. Like if you sell vintage clothing, if you have vintage pins, records, like record stores do pop-up shops. Backstreet Records is actually doing one in Indiana coming up. I think it's maybe tomorrow, Thursday, at Artist Hand. Like if you sell records, get a hold of me, and I want to promote that you're doing. Vendors like vintage clothing. Jake will have a seller booth. Yeah, I want to rep people that are making art, and I want to sell your stuff too. I want to.
Yeah, I want it to be a conglomerate.
You know, I'm trying.
This area is like bountiful with, I think, with a lot of great undiscovered people who have some great things to be put out there, and they don't necessarily have the means to do it. So we might not have the best means to do it either, but we're trying. We're trying our very best.
Those are the stories that we're trying to tell.
Yeah. So like, let us help you.
Podcasts.
Let us
So
help
this
one another. Let
podcast
us
is,
help
yeah.
one. Let us help one another.
And we're not yet established, but
No,
that's the reason for this. Like, I'm thankful that these guys asked me to do this to promote what I'm doing, and I'm trying to have more shows and events. I want to be a promoter.
You have succeeded in putting on some really fun events. It's really excited some people. Where can the listeners find more information?
I have 2 Instagram accounts that I run. My personal one's at 74 Plymouth Barracuda,
Great.
where old car, where I post, where I post
It's
everything
more
that
of
I
your
do.
personal account.
Yeah, it's personal.
But it's still good. Yeah, still a good account to follow.
Yeah, that's where I will promote all my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to school for like online media promotion, and I do need to get more tech savvy. I deleted Facebook, which now I'm almost regretting, because in my field, that's like where you should be. I know
I'm not
Facebook.
Facebook.
I don't know. It might
More
attract.
for-
It might
More
attract.
for
12
50-year-olds.
Yeah, I think Facebook's dying. I have a MySpace now. I'm
Should
kidding.
die.
Follow my
I guess we
Follow my
probably
ICQ.
should start building some websites, and that could be
Websites,
the next step for a lot of us.
online media.
Seller will have a website soon, hopefully.
But Jacob's my guy, making the flyers and stuff. Graphic designers, I want to get involved with you guys. If you have an idea that you think will fit in what I like, hit me up. I mean, and like I said, 74 Plymouth Barracuda, hit me up on Instagram.
And then
All the bands, and then Weekend at the Black Lagoon account, just at Weekend at the Black Lagoon,
Yeah.
in one word. That's where I promote strictly that event, but I want Weekend at the Black Lagoon to be a string of events.
kind of like a production.
Yeah, it's a festival. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
It's
I
a
I
mean,
know you're
festival
saying.
now.
I know you're. Yeah.
you're kind of using that currently as a tool to promote
platform.
everything related to your kind of events.
Yeah, but it's mostly like that festival, but
Mhm.
still there can be shows based off of, if we have another one at the Lagoon, say in June, which isn't the
The
main
official day.
black. Yeah, it's not. It's always the first weekend of August is what I aim for having the Lagoon at. But if like Jeff Kuntz is involved, which he is a big help. He brings generators. He brings the hay bales.
Brings
Yeah,
he brings an interesting vibe.
Yeah, people are
That
just
is
like,
addicting.
it is addicting. He's a very personable guy, and he loves seeing young kids have fun, because that's what he did back in the day.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what I want to see you guys doing, and he's very willing to help me out with putting these on. Weekend at the Black Lagoon events hopefully will pop off, and I think it already has a name.
So if you're out there, mark it on your calendars.
First weekend of August.
2019, it's happening. It has to happen annually.
That will happen, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
already looking forward to it.
Mark your calendars. Follow Weekend at the Black Lagoon for updates. Maybe some events in between now and then.
There will be. There will be. I'm looking for you artists out there
Yeah, exactly.
for a reason.
Send them a DM.
Hit me up. I get bands to follow my accounts all the time, and I interact with them. Be like, hey, I'm doing this
Mhm.
for real.
Yeah.
If you wanna
Don't be
involved.
afraid. Don't be afraid. Put your neck out there in the line.
Alright, and we appreciate it, and we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
It was
our
a blast, man.
My brother.
Pete.
Man,
Yeah,
great,
it was.
great, great location too.
This is the studio.
Yeah.
Thanks
Love
for
it up
coming.
here.
Thanks for coming
Yeah.
out. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for coming through.
Come through. Weekend at the
Cave
Black
Planet
Lagoon.
podcast is far from over.
That's right. Anything in the future for you guys? What do you guys have?
Like I said earlier, I'd love to do a.
Well, now that we've gotten a couple of these under our belt, I think the future is just challenging ourselves and kind of getting
more
different kinds
refined
of
ones.
guests and kind of playing around with these new ideas and just expanding.
Yeah, getting more refined in little ways and yeah.
Keep the guests coming.
Keep the guests coming. We got. I could think plenty of guests out there that we can get. It's
You guys should hit them up if you want to be on this.
yeah. Hit us
if you're
up.
out there creating
Don't
something,
hesitate.
hit them up.
Don't
Hit up
hesitate.
Great Coast TV. Hit up Blue Granite
Blue
on
Granite.
Instagram.
Yep.
You guys
Seller
are-
services.
Seller
Seller
services.
services. If you're out there making stuff, these guys will help promote it.
All right. Thank you.
Boom.
Good night.
Bam.